You're watching Kelly G Productions.
You're watching Connect Tour.
Here we go.
I'm from Long Island. Originally, I was born in Pennsylvania, but grew up on Long Island.
How old
By
were
the
you
time I
when
was
you
five? And then after that, I came here to do this. Now, a lot of stuff happened along the way. I don't know. I mean, I went to school. I did college for 4 years. I got a degree in music. I went into audio engineering for a while and music production. I guess my favorite part was producing singer-songwriters that didn't have a lot of direction or were seeking direction. So that whole creative process was probably the most fun part.
Working with the musician, being able to help influence the product.
Yeah, like listen to most musicians know what they don't know that they don't realize they know what they want. They think they don't know what they want. But if you listen to enough of their songs, it starts to emerge like what direction they're really wanting to go. That was always my favorite part, was just by giving somebody feedback about which songs I liked and why. That was enough for them to realize, oh yeah, this is definitely what I want to do.
So,
like, I want to go this way or that way musically.
let's hit that. How did you get into that position even? Was it right after college, in college?
No, it was much later. It was like, I had already had sort of a small career working at a hospital for 5 or 6 years. And then just as like a techie, because I've always been a techie.
Runs in the family.
Yeah, we're all geeks. We're all like techno geeks, basically. Starting with my dad, going down. But then I started to, if a piece of music hit me a certain way and it just really, like if I just really felt it, I felt compelled to talk about it with the composer. And there's nothing a musician or a songwriter likes more than somebody taking a genuine interest in what they do.
Yes,
I mean, it just,
that's what they really do it. I mean, that's what they do it for.
Of course, totally. So as long as it was genuine on my part, I never said I liked something that I didn't like.
Yes.
Or I may have said it very much in glancing, but I would never sit and have a deep conversation with someone about what they do unless I genuinely liked it, and I felt moved by it. And I always just wanted to add to it somehow, I mean, I wanted to add to it, but also make sure that it got produced the way it wanted to be produced rather than how I wanted it to be produced. And to me, that's what real production is, right? Everything you do is in service to the art.
Yes.
Everything.
Totally. No, seriously. I just had this conversation with people not that long ago. When it comes to writing, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
don't. It's not your. After a certain. Yeah, you started out. You have an idea, but after a while, it's not your idea.
That's right.
It
That's what I
becomes
think.
something, and you.
It has a life of its own, and as a good parent or bad parent that you are, you're either going to nurture or to kill it. And so it's I felt that way as a producer too. That this song, it hit me really great, and so now how can it hit everybody else? I have to be so careful not to put something in there that was my idea. I know that sounds crazy, but it can't be coming from me. If it does, then I'm failing the process. It has to be what I know was supposed to be there, or what I know, well, you know how it is. If you feel like you're particularly inspired that day artistically, by the end of the day, if you come up with something, you look back on it and go, oh man, that's some of the best work I've ever done. You know that there was almost none of you in it.
No,
right?
I was just channeling whatever.
It just came out. That's how I feel.
So how did you get to that from?
Well, I was blessed because I had a lot of technical skill. For whatever reason, I can look at all this equipment and understand how it works and why.
You're like
and what's the best way to use it. Like, I understand basics about audio function like equalization and compression. Those are like key things, right? And everything that your ears do is on some level manipulating the frequency or the dynamics, because that's all it really has.
Okay, can you please do me a favor? How long, is there any way you could summarize in like 60 seconds or less equalization, compression.
Yeah, I don't have to. Everybody already knows it.
Well, yeah, but my audience might not. And
Well,
it might be cool
there's-
just to hear the
There's
words.
lots
Look
of
right into that
Well,
camera.
so we can hear some low stuff and some high stuff. And, you know, the higher your range and the lower your range goes, that's the frequency range you hear. And so when I record something, I want as much of those frequencies that exist in nature to make it to your ears.
To your ear
when
hole.
you're hearing back. Yeah, when you're listening back, right. So there's some knobs and buttons and things that you can press on equipment that nurture that, bring that along. Some of the really basic things are frequency range and dynamic range. You know, the difference between the quietest thing you hear and the loudest thing you hear. That's dynamic range. And then there's frequency range, which is the lowest frequency to the highest frequency. And if you basically just manipulating those two things, no easy task, but that's basically what you manipulate to make stuff sound a certain way.
It really is no easy task, and you have to have an ear for it.
I think I was lucky. I could translate what I felt in my soul. I could use the tools, or I knew how to use the tools around me to capture that and hand it to somebody else to listen to. And that to me is like maybe the most important skill you can have as an audio engineer / music producer. Because I was never strictly into the techie stuff, and I was never strictly into the creative stuff. I had a deep passion for both. And I didn't know a lot of other people around that did that. That's why they hire teams of people.
Yeah.
They have to hire like producers and stuff who are totally musical people, don't want to touch the mixing console, very technical people who understand that stuff, and then somebody in between to translate. And so that's a minimum of 3 people right there. And you talk about the telephone game, like how distorted stuff gets by the end.
Yeah.
Well, that you're all. I mean, and then you talk about the concept of being in service of the song, trying not to put too much. So already you're set up for failure.
It's a wonder anything ever makes it.
and it's no wonder why so much of it is stuff I don't care about and don't want to listen to.
Very true.
And it doesn't have anything to do with the original concept of the song either. That might have been brilliant, but I'll never know because it didn't make it.